When burning incense, I've always enjoyed watching the dance of smoke as it fills the room. The pleasant aroma that it comes with, and that steady stream that comes straight up before dancing around and swirls, slowly and subtly sliding through the tiny currents of air. It's in that dance that a lot can be learned about the nature of thoughts and ideas. With a few concepts taken from science, we can view the world of ideas in a new framework of reality. I'm sure it's a long time since any of you took your last fluid dynamics lesson, so allow me to bracket for one moment while I try to stage my point. There are two types of flow, or how matter moves together in a form, like water or air, that I'm going to highlight: turbulent flow and laminar flow. Turbulent flow, kind of like turbulence on an airplane, is describing chaotic movements. It's what I was describing with the incense. Those subtle swirls that ribbon around in varying directions and varying ways on their way to some point or another. They may be moving together towards an open window or just going up into the room before disappearing. Laminar flow is what you get from putting a nozzle at the end of a garden hose. A single straight clear tube of water with all the fluid flowing together. Both can be rather puzzling. Like a water fountain display, when it creates arches of water, a stream moving from one end of the arch to the other can look as if it's a solid line held together by some unseen force, even though it's just water. It's a delightful thing to witness. It is also not too dissimilar from typical logic exercises. One stream of events, thoughts, actions, or time, one event leading into another, which in turn explains an outcome, sometimes in a delightful way that seems incomprehensible. Incomprehensible, that is, until you see it all stitched together in time. A simple X, then Z, leading to C, and it all equals Y. Here's 3 questions with 3 answers that can be told with one word representing an explained, clear, linear outcome. Why did Donald J. Trump win the election in 2016? Why is the Earth going through rapid change with rather drastic extinctions? And why is there gross inequality in the US and the world? Russia, oil, billionaires. One single reason that satisfies the chain of connections, one jolt of water, and an arch flows from one side to the other, completing the solution. Single streams of thought that can be corroborated with several varying claims do create a lovely display of logic. One point gracefully chains the next, and it can spark genuine insight, and in many cases are indeed true for the portions in which they comment. Such an exercise, though, just like laminar flow, are great tools to serve a specific purpose. They are often delightfully satisfying, but rare if existent at all in reality. I'll posit to you that if they do exist, it's by design, like the veins in your body. Single chains of thought can, and frequently are, useful, but they're not so good outside of their specific task, and shouldn't be extrapolated as fact in a broader reality. Turbulent flow, though. Turbulent flow, like how smoke moves around in a room, is influenced by what came before it, after it, and what is happening the moment you're seeing it. Looking at any single point of any turbulent system requires you to consider the broader environment that it interacts with. 3-dimensional space, over the course of time, that's reality. If you focus on any part of the smoke disappearing, like whitewater crashing at the beach, it'll quickly propagate to more pieces before eventually fading out. That is how most events, thoughts, ideas truly happen. Not X plus B equals C, but here's the part we're choosing to suspend for a moment, here's where it came from, and this is all we can see from the perspective that's near it, affecting it, and influenced by it. We can chase how that suspension got there, but the further we go back, the more we will need to find out about our new point in suspension. The more we will need to find out that's affected by it, causing us to have to move further and further back. Take a second and look at the cover art for this episode. It's the ocean currents for the Gulf of Mexico, a beautiful example of turbulent flow. It is also a suspension in time. If we were to ask where any of those currents came from, it would result in the same exercise and only end when we choose to stop investigating. Why did Donald J. Trump win in 2016? Russians, sure, they played their part, as did Saudi Arabia, Israel, and others through the same means. And to only land on this actor, or even this factor in its win, would ignore campaign miscalculations, media sensationalism, identity politics, growing inequality, lack of political will to face any real issue, and countless other factors. Why is the Earth going through rapid change? Oil, right? Sure, that is no doubt a driver of climate change and fallout effects therein, but is that it? Does replacing oil do much to alter trade complexities, from those large cargo ships moving across oceans to bring me blueberries in the winter or my last Amazon order from China? What about the coal power plants that those factories that make my Amazon order? And that Amazon order? It's only as cheap as it is because the power for those factories are made in a geolocation that has less government pressure on pollution. Does landing on oil even do anything to call attention to the massive amounts of methane being released from landfills where my rotten blueberries and Amazon doohickeys end up? Or does it even put a dent in tropical rainforest deforestation that sinks some of that carbon back into the soil? What about concrete? Now, to close our triplet, why is there gross inequality in the US and the world? Billionaires is what I went with. They're the reason for it. Their influence on elections, laws, stories that are reported, goods that are bought. All of that is true. What is also true is people really enjoy branded merchandise, not having to think too hard about political issues, enjoy a good fluff piece or a salacious story about the Montagues and Capulets at it again. We enjoy getting the new iPhone, seeing the latest update to Instagram, or any numerous other examples of novel delight and a genuine increase in comfort. Never do we think that these increases in comfort, from a more absorbent Swiffer through a pumpkin spice Baby Yoda, all play into everything else around us at the moment in a chaotic swirl. So much so that when you follow those swirls out and out, you start to wonder if why Donald J. Trump got elected, why the Earth is going through rapid change, and why there is gross inequality are all connected in one ribbon after another. The atoms, events, and dance between them that we call the world is only going to get more chaotic as it flows. And as we flow with it, it's a helpful exercise to remember the tool of laminar flow when building or spotting a narrative and the wondrous structures it can craft, but also recognizing the artificial nature of it only being used as a model, not as an example in reality. For normal is turbulence. If you'd like to find us on your social media platform of choice, sign up for our mailing list to be the first to know about episode drops, know about upcoming guests or opportunities to ask questions and provide suggestions, please visit us at bandwidthpodcast.com. And of course, if you like what you hear, please follow, comment, or subscribe to the pod, however it is that this is getting to your ears.